phone.
What up, what up? It is the morning after with Nic and Big J. Welcome to Thursday, the 30th day of July, 2026. My name is Nic. Hey, everybody, it's Big J.
Yeah.
You feeling any better, or are you just powering through today?
Yeah, better.
Okay.
Better not 100%.
No?
But better than it was yesterday.
That's something.
I'm going to tell you what, dude. Big mistake on Big J's part. Because Tuesday I wasn't feeling great anyways. Should I have partaken in the company potluck? Maybe not.
What happened with the company potluck?
No, I'm just saying it was it's a combination of weird foods.
What was all there? Brisket? Your beans?
No, there was no brisket.
What did he make?
He made pulled pork.
Oh, pulled pork. Okay.
It doesn't matter what the items were. What matters is I was already not feeling great, and they're all different, weird. You don't need a strange concoction building up inside of you.
Well, I mean, it felt like it had like a barbecue theme. It seemed like it was a theme.
It doesn't matter what was there. All the food was great.
Uh-huh.
It's different stuff. There was all kinds of different foods there, not just barbecue.
Okay.
I'm just saying it was probably not a good idea. It probably only made my situation worse.
You sampled too many weird things that your stomach can handle when you already weren't feeling
weird,
well.
Different items. I'm just trying to tell you, my stomach is already on I'm slipping off of an edge on a daily basis anyways.
Sure.
Adding to that a bunch of different stuff that maybe doesn't go together, maybe is is just a bad idea, man. It was a bad idea.
And it just leveled your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you were out of commission all day yesterday.
Yeah.
Not feeling well.
No.
When did it start to turn around, if at all? Or was it finally you woke up and you're like, I guess I'm serviceable?
Yeah, that was probably like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's something, right?
Yeah. That's something.
But I guess you got to be careful. I mean, like, what?
Yes, I got to be more careful. I even considered not partaking, and I should have listened to myself.
Yeah, because you were convinced it was the day before you ate something that was putting you off as well. And it was just too much. But one would also think you had cleared all that out of you by then.
No, it's not the actual food. It's the way it works with what is left of my stomach these days.
Got it. Well, listen, man, I think you just need to stick to saltines and white bread and see what happens, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Get yourself some sustenance and then move on. And don't worry about
or just a protein bar. That'll work.
Or anything like that. But I'm glad that you're back, Big J. We missed you yesterday. And I believe...
It was a bummer.
You owe us something.
Yeah, I watched Mortal Kombat 2.
So we'll talk a little bit about that today. We have Craig Gass back in the studio today, Big J, who was very upset with you yesterday for missing the show.
Listen, he should be happy I'm not here. I wasn't there.
He was starting to take it personally.
I told him, I sent him a message and told him I was calling out sick.
That was nice of you. What time did you do that? 2 o'clock in the morning?
No.
Okay.
No, it wasn't at 2 o'clock in the morning. I did it before he was supposed to come in.
Of course, we also have a chance for you to qualify for Summer of Fun. We got Shinedown tickets to give away, Slightly Stupid in town tonight. And we play music like Tool. Sober on the X.
Spanning the globe in search of news. Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the morning after with Nic and Big J.
Important stuff brought to you by Team Mazda and the Pre-Owned Superstore. Getting financed at Team Mazda even easier thanks to GoTeamCredit.com. Everybody gets pre-approved. No effect on your credit. Try it. Log on to GoTeamCredit.com today. Big J, in your humble opinion, what is the best state in the United States of America?
The best state in the United States of America? Montana, of course.
Would you be surprised to find out that U.S. News and World Report disagrees with you?
Of course I would.
They have released, once again, their 2026 list for the best states in the United States, weighing several factors to determine how well states perform for their residents. They ranked economy, crime, education, healthcare, infrastructure, opportunity, fiscal stability, natural environment, and all sorts of other stuff.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, and I'll give you a hint. The state that topped the list has been their number one state for 4 years in a row. Does that help?
No.
It's not too far away. Does that help?
Utah.
Utah is the number one state in America, according
Most people
to
never driven in Salt Lake City.
U.S. News and World Report. Yeah, well, listen, traffic was not one of the listing things that
Not
they
even
put on.
traffic. People are nuts.
South Dakota comes in second. Minnesota comes in number 3.
South
Big J.
Dakota is second?
Yeah.
Because there's hardly any population in these states?
Again, they're not ranking happiness. They're talking about how the state sets up their residents for success. The state.
Yeah, the fewer residents, the easier the ability to get that done.
Well, I mean, there are lots of people in Utah and Minnesota, and they're around there. Idaho comes in at number 7, Big J. How say you?
Yeah, again, that lines up with the population.
Number 3 in the economy, although you could have fooled me. Number 6 in fiscal stability. Number 8 in crime. Number 14 in natural environment. Number 16 in opportunity. Number 16 in healthcare. Where we really struggle, Big J, is infrastructure and education. Otherwise, we would be top 5. But there we are sitting at number 7. How does it feel?
Feels 7th best, I guess.
Yeah. But you still
Feels
feel
like a struggle.
In your mind, you're better than South Dakota, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody even wants to take a trip there.
And it sounds like, quite frankly, you're better than number 1 in Utah in your own mind, right?
Absolutely.
So all that matters is how you feel. So congratulations on being number 1 in your own mind, Big J. LeBron James is signing with the Philadelphia 76ers. It's inspired some digging into the money college basketball players make. Of course, James will make $3.8 million next season. Obviously, the lowest salary in his historic career. And with the advent of NIL deals, we now know at least 18 college basketball players are going to make more money than LeBron James in 2026 through 2027. We know that Thomas Haw from Florida is expected to be the highest player in college basketball next season. He's going to earn close to about $10 million before he probably makes the jump to the NBA. But so you got college players, Big J, making more than LeBron James. Now, of course, you factor in all
the interest that LeBron's making off of his other stuff.
Sure.
Pales in comparison.
The endorsement deals and all this other stuff that he has. I'm sure in the calendar year 2026, he'll make more than $3.8 million. But it is interesting to see that other people are making more money playing basketball than LeBron James. Not that he's the best player in the NBA even, but you know what I mean. It's one of those deals where usually your career gives you a chance to cash in, but he's been cashing in his whole career and now just wants that ring.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it all comes to fruition, but he's not going to make a whole lot of money playing for the 76ers this year, but that's not a shock at all. Big J, congratulations to Michael J. Fox. He's going to be honored with the Bob Hope Humanitarian Award at the upcoming Emmys.
I would say overdue.
Highlighting his significant contributions to Parkinson's disease research and advocacy. Of course, Fox is also an Emmy nominee this year for his acting. He played a guest role on Apple TV's Shrinking and got the nod for that. But he will definitely be on camera receiving the award for his humanitarian efforts coming up on September 14th when the Emmys air live. Congratulations to Michael J. Fox. Proud of you, man.
Yeah!
Oh, a round of rousing applause from Big J. Morning After with Nic and Big J. There's your first round of important stuff. It's the X Rocks. That is Weezer. That is Say It Ain't So here on the Morning After with Nic and Big J. Can I go on a rant, Big J?
Oh, please, yeah.
Kind of tangentially related to what you're about to talk about here in a few minutes. But,
Mortal Kombat?
not in a greater kind of scope. But, of course, I want to preface this by saying I understand that not every single thing is going to be incorporated in this particular kind of like umbrella that I'm going to say.
Oh.
But and that there's a lot of subjectivity involved here, but let's be honest. It's 2026 and there are a ridiculous amount of streaming services, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere you go, every single channel has one. Every single streaming platform has a way for you to do it. There's all sorts of different things. What I am amazed about sometimes is like how in the year 2026 you cannot find movies that are streaming. Do you know what I'm saying? Like anywhere, even for rent. Like I would, and I'm not talking about every movie ever made. But like I was specifically going for a movie that's fairly new, like within the last decade, right?
Yeah, that right there is like, what?
That's an Academy Award-winning movie.
Oh, well, there you go.
That I have
He wants to
never
watch
seen.
those.
And I was like, I was listening to something, and they were just like, "Listen, this is like the definitive movie of the last 20 years." And I'm like, you know what? That's a blind spot. I haven't actually sat down and watched it. I'm going to try to find it, and it is nowhere.
My God.
I mean, it's nowhere, and it doesn't make any sense to me at all.
What movie is it?
It's called Moonlight. Have you ever heard of it, Big J?
Moonlight.
It's the movie that, remember when Warren Beatty mistakenly said La La Land won the Oscar, and it was actually Moonlight that won it?
Yeah,
and
isn't that Marshawn Ali?
It's exactly right.
I watched that for Streaming Dumbass.
Yeah, it's gone now. It has like disappeared from the lexicon. I know. So I was trying to find it, and I couldn't find it, and I was like, that's crazy to me. But then I started looking around, and I was like, you know what? There's other movies. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole that I'm trying to find for a particular director, but like all of their movies are like gone. Like they don't exist. And so I was like, how is this a thing in 2026 where you just can't find movies that are streaming somewhere even for free? I mean, I don't mind renting it or paying for it every once in a while. It depends.
It says it's streaming on Hulu.
It is definitely not. Because I went there and I looked, and it's not. Weird. And so I was like all over the place, and I was just like, it's crazy to me that we live in this time where there's AMC Pluses and there's YouTube Premiums and there's all this particular things, and Netflix and Hulu and HBO and Showtime and all of this thing, and Paramount and Peacock and all of it, and Apple, and I pay for it all, Big J. And it's and like there are just things that just don't exist anywhere. And I understand that there are rights and there are all these things that go into it, and not every piece of garbage movie is going to be available to stream somewhere. These are things I understand. It's just incredibly frustrating when you have something in your mind and you can't chase it down.
I totally agree with what you're saying, but you're totally wrong in this case. Moonlight is 100% available on Hulu.
It is?
Yes, I just started watching it right now.
Oh, gross. Well, that makes me even madder.
Yeah,
because
you're a real dummy.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
But you're right, though. There is a certain amount of those movies that just sort of license agreements or whatever, just boom, aren't there. And like my frustration is there's a bunch of movies that I like that are terrible and that probably not a lot of people would be watching.
Sure.
That aren't available on digital anywhere. Like one of my wife's favorite movies of all time. Can't get it on digital. We only can watch it now on DVD, and that's Matchmaker with Janine Garofalo. It's one of her favorite movies.
Right. Yeah,
and it's very frustrating.
It's tough. And then even still, like trying to track down some physical media for things are very difficult as well sometimes. And so like there's no in between. Like we're kind of stuck in like this generation of the kind of disassembling of physical media and everything over into digital in some way, shape, or form, but not everything. And so I sometimes think like there's going to be so many things lost in the shuffle when this stuff happens. It's going to make me very sad.
Think about it this way. It takes a lot to produce physical media.
Sure.
Right? Especially when you think about a movie and DVD and all the kind of production line that it takes. It takes a little while to get that moving. And think about how easy it is to do the transverse with digital, Nick. If you remember the MFTs or whatever it was, like the art, the digital art that became a thing.
Yeah.
It's hardly in existence, right? Nobody talks about that anymore.
Right.
And it's one of those things where I think a lot of that is like, hey, this is the new age. You can do cool stuff with digital. And everybody was really interested in that, but it faded really, really fast. And I think part of that is because it's so easy to create in a digital version of something over a physical version that there's so many things that are in aspect that have to be part of that. It makes it economically more difficult. And so it's easy to say, you know what, we're going to give up on this. So the problem is once you realize the mistake, and I think at some point here, pretty soon, everybody's going to start realizing the mistake that it's going to be hard to get that back.
Yeah. Because
it's
also,
be really hard to get it back.
We're starting to see backlash against all digital things because at any point that stuff can just be taken out of your your cloud that you put it in because they've lost those rights. And people are like, why would I even bother then? What's the point? If I don't actually own what I'm buying, what is the point? And so there's a whole nother problem because then those things just disappear entirely. And so I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I'm just venting, and now I'm even more upset that I couldn't watch the movie I wanted to look like.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Morning after.
Better
with
me to
Nick.
call you out than somebody else.
Oh, it's okay. I'm okay being called out. It was just I was like, I looked everywhere. I did internet searches, all those kinds of things, and they're like, no, sorry, not today. And I'm like, what? But either way, we are going to find out about another movie that Big J did watch. It's called Mortal Kombat 2. We'll get a review next on the X. 3 Days Gray, still want to go home tonight here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Couple days ago now, you guys selected a movie for Big J to watch and review for you for a little thing called Streaming Dumbass. It was called Mortal Kombat 2. It can be found on HBO Max. It was not a good turn at the box office, but that doesn't mean anything to Big J. The question is, did Big J enjoy the movie, and what the hell is Mortal Kombat 2 about? Please, Big J.
Mortal Kombat 2, Nick. It's about what every Mortal Kombat movie ever or any show has ever been, cartoon. And that is that there is a tournament, damn it, that has to be fulfilled in order for evil to be kept at death's door, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, there's no difference here in this movie as opposed to maybe the original Mortal Kombat 2 way back in the day. Of course, these are all reboots, Nick. And this particular version stars Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, the action star who is being asked to save the world, save the universe, Nick.
Now, in Mortal Kombat, the first one, I believe the cliffhanger was they were kind of saying we're going to bring Johnny Cage into it because he was not in the first movie.
Yeah.
And so now Johnny Cage is a straight-up star of the second one.
Yes.
Is anyone back from the first movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple of the folks. Josh Lawson's back as Kano.
We liked him, I remember.
Yes. And the Jax, the guy who played Jax, is Mashad Brooks is back. So you've got Jessica McNamee as Sonya Blade as well. So they're all back, Nick, and trying to finish this and take down Shao Kahn, Nick, because he's a ruthless, evil person, and he's almost undefeatable with when he has this amulet. And so they decide that, hey, first of all, Johnny Cage, not interested, by the way. It was very Galaxy Quest-ish kind of vibe, Nick, where they approach Johnny Cage because he's just going to action cons at this point. His career is kind of tanked, and he's a broken man, if you will, and he doesn't really believe them when they come asking. He just thinks that they're fans or whatever. And then, Raiden shows him the electrical fire, and he's like, oh, what's this? And decides to go into another realm, Nick. And
of course.
And then he doesn't want anything to do with it. He tries to leave, and they send him back anyways. And he has to go fight Nick. And so he takes up the fight with everybody else. Here's the thing about this movie. It's like every Mortal Kombat movie, like I've said. It's tournaments, there's fights, there's combat, and everything in between. It doesn't matter. It's pretty damn dumb. I mean, it's just, how dumb is it? Is it too dumb, or is it just dumb enough to be hilarious? It's too dumb, Nick.
Okay.
The fights just weren't that entertaining. They weren't really, and that's really what you want to see. It's just a CGI slop fest, and it isn't fun to watch. Some of the things are funny. The thing that saves it, makes it watchable and enjoyable, is Josh Lawson as Kano. I think Carl Urban's good as well, but he just didn't have a real opportunity to really make it work. I guess and Kano is hilarious in this and fun, but other than that, it was not the greatest movie to watch.
I remember when we did the first Mortal Kombat for the Morning After the Movies podcast.
Yes, during the pandemic.
Yeah, we all were kind of like, this was dumb, stupid fun. I had a really good time watching it. And I often thought, as I look back on some of the clips that I have seen, I haven't watched the movie again since we watched it, but I was like, did we were just super desperate because of the pandemic for anything new that we took it to be better than it actually was?
Yeah, well, I would say that movie's much better than this movie.
Okay.
Which isn't saying a lot because it wasn't a super great. We were just happy that there was a movie and that we could do a podcast. To be perfectly honest with you,
I think that's what it was.
But Mortal Kombat, it's not like you're going to get cinema gold here. You should never expect that going into a movie like this. But I think you should expect some fun and some entertainment, and I just don't think it was there.
Okay. So you were not happy. You were excited to see it, and you walked away disappointed.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't go to the theater to see it.
So Mortal Kombat 2 sounds like it's not Big J approved.
Yeah, no, not approved.
The streak continues then, guys. Sorry. This was the big one of the bunch, but Big J just didn't like it. So there's that. It is available on HBO Max if you want to take your own fate into your hands. But Big J says
The
thanks.
music wasn't even great.
No?
They needed to more EDM, more techno.
What kind of music do they have?
It just wasn't good.
Oh, it wasn't EDM?
No, there's some, a little bit, but it just didn't stand out.
Got it.
Which is going to be a big part of a Mortal Kombat movie.
You want that.
Yeah.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your movie review. We got some important stuff next on the X. The important stuff is brought to you by Summer of Fun. Big J, God, this summer's been fun. And we're only in week number 5 of it. It's all brought to you by the Record Exchange Overhead Door and A1 Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric. Week number 5 means 5 days, 4 nights. Northern Arizona, dude. Grand Canyon, Sedona. Living it up, living the dream. And we are going to give that trip away tomorrow afternoon. But you got to get qualified for it. You still have 2 more days to do so. 9, 11, 1, and 3 keywords come your way. You text them into us. You spell them correctly, and you are qualified. And then if you were the grand prize winner tomorrow afternoon, you make the choice. Would you like to take the trip to Northern Arizona? Would you like to keep the cash to the tune of $3,000? We've given away 4 particular weeks so far. Everybody's taken the cash up to this point. So I guess money talks, Big J, and airplanes walk.
Or fly.
But you make the choice. Maybe you're the first person to take the trip and it's enjoyable. So we'll see how it all shakes out, but you got to get qualified, and your first chance to do so is coming your way a little bit after 9 o'clock this morning. Big J, man, death does weird things to people. Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
Especially
kills them usually.
if it's somebody close to you. I'm talking about the grieving of somebody that passes away in your inner circle. But it also, we've talked about this before, kind of points out how really kind of jerky some people can be sometimes. So they sat down with 12,000 U.S. adults and kind of talked a little bit about inheriting things and inheritance in general. And obviously, and nobody's turning down the money if they inherit it, right? 99% are like, yes, give me that money. If you pass on and you want to give me that money, I'm happy to have it. But then when it comes down to possessions, it starts to get real, I don't know, it made me feel real uncomfortable.
And it doesn't necessarily even have to be something that's really valuable.
Right.
Like a lot of times, family fights, it's over weird stuff.
Yes, it's true. But basically what it comes down to it is a lot of people just don't want this stuff, period. 49% of Americans say, you know what, don't give me anything rather than a bunch of your crap, okay? I don't want it. I don't want it to go through it. I don't want it to figure out what's good or what's not. Don't be leaving me a bunch of crap in your will, okay? I don't want it. I'd rather have nothing than that at all, which is, I don't know, insane to me. They're supposed to be a loved one, right? I mean, obviously, nobody, in a lot of cases, you're not planning on passing away. And if you're in the will, there's things to take care of, and that's a pain in the ass. There's no doubt about it. But I can't imagine going, nah, I'm good. Meanwhile, 51% say, hey, just give me like a thing or two, man. That's all I need. All I need. The biggest frustration is clutter. They don't want it to come into somebody's house that's passed away and have to deal with all this other stuff. And of course that can be frustrating. And of course that can be overwhelming. And of course that can be a lot. But like, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean?
I don't know. But before you chuck it, make sure you check with somebody else in the family and see if they want it.
Yes, because that's where things start to get... Listen, there's a lot of feelings and animosity and things that can brew up in that scenario where you're like, I don't want any of this crap, throw it all away. And somebody's like, well, then put me in your shoes. I would have helped. Yeah. I would have done this for you because I care.
Communicate with each other.
Yeah, because you're all going through very, very tough things. Emotions are high, and sometimes you don't always make the best decisions when things like that happen. So think about it. Of course, there's all sorts of weird things that can be inherited and things that are deemed valuable or invaluable and all those stuff. So just think about it. And when you're going through this stuff, try to remember that in a lot of cases, unless there's some sort of hoarder, these things meant something to somebody that you love. And that's what you need to remember. And don't throw it all away. Go through it all, talk to people, have some conversations. It's a lot, but it does. These things mean things to people.
Yep.
Big J, Highmark Stadium. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah, is that Buffalo Bills?
It's a brand new stadium for the Buffalo Bills, baby.
Yep.
It officially will be open for business during the first regular season home game scheduled for September 17th against the Detroit Lions. Here's the thing. Bills Mafia already pissed, though, because unlike the old stadium, this new stadium has got, quote, tailgating rules that are in place that were not in place at the old stadium, and they are pissed about them. Now, rule number 1, anyone looking to tailgate in team operating parking lots may not bring or prepare food for consumption for other people. It's for friends and family only, so you can't share food with others in the parking lot or you will get kicked out.
Good luck.
Number 2, you're not allowed to have any other noise-making items inside the actual stadium or the parking lot. No megaphones, no air horns, anything like that. All of those objects are banned.
Seems pretty standard.
Number 3, same with big speaker systems. You can have a personalized speaker, but don't bring in your PA system or excessive volume. You can't crank it up. They will kick you out if your music is too loud as well. Now, the one thing that stays consistent, you're still cool to jump through tables and destroy them in the parking lot. That seems to be allowed. They even have a broken table in the stadium.
It's huge. I saw just a video of it. I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny. But these are things that they got away with, and they were like encouraging at the old Bills Mafia Stadium. These things are new and different, and it's going to take some time. And there are some hardcore Bills fans that are not happy about the noise restrictions and the food restrictions, and they have to turn their music down, kind of stuff. So we'll see how it all goes. But I'm guessing that the desire to see your team in person will outweigh all that other stuff.
Or you'll end up getting in trouble when you break the rules.
Yeah, or you'll get kicked out for life. One of the two.
For life.
Big J, rough day for Jared Leto yesterday. There was a new BBC documentary.
Been up and coming for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how surprising it was. There were a lot of allegations already thrown around about Jared Leto being a pretty big piece of garbage. But this one features 10 women accusing the actor and musician of misconduct. They allege criminal sexual misconduct, claiming the incident occurred when they were teenagers, accusing Jared Leto of assault when they were 17, statutory rape in California at 17, sexually explicit phone calls to another one when she was 16. All alleged incidents occurred between 2002 and 2016 when Leto was in his 30s and 40s. The BBC says it corroborated several accounts with friends, family photos, and got messages, and they have the receipts. For the record, Leto has denied the allegations, stating these claims are absolutely and categorically false, but stopped kind of there, and now we kind of see where this thing goes from there. But yeah, this is something that I guess was kind of in the wind for a while. Mm-hmm. Of course, you already had the cult associations with him that he was involved in, things like that, and there were lots of weird Jared Leto stories around. I can't say I'm shocked, but I imagine it's surprising a few people, maybe? I don't know.
Probably.
I have I've heard some Jared Leto stories myself. I've never been much of a fan, but to each their own. And so I will say that we will see where this goes and if charges follow. But it's not a great story if you are a Jared Leto fan, for sure. Morning After with Nic and Big J. There's your important stuff. Guess what? We're going to go to hell. It's going to happen next on the X Rocks. Man, heading back in a time machine for today's We're Going to Hell story, technically, because most of this story happens in 2019. But we're also headed to Massachusetts for today's We're Going to Hell story. The story revolves around the Steiners. Now, not, of course, the wrestling family, Big J, but
that's what I was going to say.
David and Ina Steiner. They are a Massachusetts couple that used to have an e-commerce newsletter. You remember newsletters, Big J?
Yeah, they still exist.
Sure. You would subscribe to them, and they would point you in the right direction about things or give you some updated tips about stuff. And sometimes they would kind of let you in on some insider kind of secrets and information. And they had an e-commerce newsletter called E-commerce Bites, spelled with a Y. Get it?
Right.
And basically, what they would do is they would go through and tell people that subscribe to the newsletter some of the best places that they can go for great deals online if they're looking for particular things. They would help send kind of customized links to people that subscribe to their newsletter to find particular hard-to-find objects that they were looking for, right?
Sure.
I'm not going to say this newsletter got popular, but it found itself an audience. People that were looking for particular things. And sometimes when, particular people or particular brands have a beef against another brand and they take kind of like pot shots at something that many people consider the industry standard or something that's popular.
Like Wendy's.
Sure. Yeah. They start throwing other people under the bus and they have it. Well, one thing the Steiners weren't a fan of, specifically because this particular newsletter dealt with people that were trying to sell goods to other people, right?
Yeah.
They had a real problem with eBay. because they had a problem with how much eBay was taking from every order that is sold on eBay.
Yeah,
and
they get a percentage.
Right. They were trying to tell people and give people tips on how to sell their things online without having to lose some of the money that they were selling it with. And so, this is, again, 2019, so it was before, like, Facebook Marketplace really took off and those kinds of things. And so they would point you in the direction of other websites and other places to sell your goods. That wasn't eBay. Well, it became so popular that it started to affect eBay's bottom line.
Oh, my.
And so eBay started to get real chippy about this e-commerce bites newsletter. So much so that the Steiners started to get anonymous deliveries of some pretty weird things, like live cockroaches, spiders delivered to their door, a funeral wreath, a real cut-off pig head, Big J.
Jesus, what is this?
Along with
Godfather?
Death threats and surveillance from other things. And then they're like, this is really weird. And then they started to trace it back to people that actually worked for eBay. And they're like, what the hell is going on here? eBay is like targeting our family just because we're encouraging people not to use their service and to use other things that won't take as much money from them. That's it. It's not like, we're trying to compete with them or anything. But a couple people apparently were unhappy with the coverage that eBay got in the newsletter, and they decided to take it into their own hands. And so since 2019, the Steiners have been fighting to prove that eBay is where some of this stuff came from. And about a year ago, they found some hard evidence that was the case. And so since then, they have been embattled with eBay in a lawsuit. That lawsuit was settled yesterday. And eBay has agreed to pay the couple nearly $50 million.
Oh, my God.
In compensation.
Nice.
$48.7 million to be exact. An additional $7 million in charitable donations as well. Former CEO of eBay has been forced to contribute $2 million personally because they're starting to find out that he was the one that kind of started sending down some of these orders, right? 7 former eBay employees previously pleaded guilty to conspiracy and cyber stalking charges as well. eBay has called the conduct wrong, reprehensible, and should have never happened. The Steiners are hoping some good will come out of this painful, life-changing experience, but this comes on the heels of almost 6 years of them denying that eBay had anything to do with it until I still don't know how they came up with it, but they found some electronic kind of like string of emails from David Wenning down to some people, and that's how they discovered it. And everybody's like, well, I guess we did do that. I'm so sorry.
That's what happens when you have to take the expense to sue somebody. Because then, there's something called discovery.
Sure.
And then they have to fork over evidence, and that's when you get a chance to see what the heck is going on the other side of that curtain.
I also think because the Steiners have some understanding of the way the internet and technology works is how they were able to dig out some of this stuff as well. And so that also played a part. But yeah, eBay has to give them $50 million for sending them a bunch of cockroaches and spiders and funeral wreaths and dead pigs, Big J.
Yeah, it doesn't seem really worth it to crap on a small business who's just trying to help people save money.
I mean, imagine you got a package in the mail every time you talk crap about somebody. That'd be pretty crazy, right?
I'd have a lot of packages.
If you filled with dead pigs, your house. Morning After with Nic and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It's the X Rocks. That is Korn. That is Freak on a Leash here on the Morning After with Nic and Big J. Big J, it's summer, man. That means it's hot outside, right?
Yeah, very.
So let's give you a list of things that are real. Number 1, Sasquatch. Number 2, Nessie, right?
No.
Number 3, swamp ass. It's real, isn't it?
That is real.
And it's a problem. It can cause what the kids call, Big J, chafing. Now, if you had to explain what chafing was, what would it be described as in your definition?
I would say it's two things rubbing against each other, Nick.
Creating
friction, yes.
Sure. Leaving behind, some redness, some skin uncomfortability. It's just, it's not fun. And swamp ass and chafing becomes a regular thing around this time of year, does it not, Big J?
Yeah.
What are your solutions? Are you a Gold Bond man?
Gold Bond for sure.
Okay. And are you pre or post? Like, do you make sure you sprinkle that thing before the day starts, or are you kind of reacting and it's postscript to the swamp as you suffer during the day?
Probably better off beforehand than afterwards.
So it's part of your daily preparation material. Just slather that crotch in Gold Bond medicated powder, right?
Yep.
Make sure that you are ready to go and there's some dryness there. What if I told you, Big J, that there is a new underwear company called Step One out of Australia that says that they have developed chafe-free, swamp-ass-free underwear? Would you buy it?
I'd try it.
Sure,
why not?
They obviously are from Australia, which has a lot of humidity, a lot of heat, and they have spent the last 15 years trying to develop a underwear that helps dudes that deal with this. Now, of course, if you are somebody that works out a lot, if you are somebody that sweats a lot, this is where you're going to deal with chafing and swamp ass. And so they have released a brand new line of boxers, thongs, and your favorite boxer briefs, Big J, that are made from a particular type of bamboo, which is something that we've talked about before on the show, bamboo underwear, that is supposed to basically stop chafing and swamp ass from happening. They say that it's bamboo viscose, and it's soft, breathable, and naturally thermoregulating, and includes non-chafe panels to help reduce friction and eliminate swamp ass with contoured supportive pouches that provide comfort while allowing for easy movement. These things aren't stiff. They're supposed to be comfortable, breathable, and make sure that you never get swamp ass or chafing again. How say you, sir?
Sounds like a plan, man.
Okay. So you're looking for Step One underwear, Big J. I have not looked up the price. I don't know how much they are, but I don't know how much Gold Bond is either. How much is that? What's your Gold Bond budget every month, every year?
Every year. I mean, not much.
I can't. I mean, I'm probably $8 to $12 a bottle of Gold Bond. Do you go through more than a bottle a year?
No, I barely use it.
Got it. So maybe this is the way to go, and perhaps this could change not only your life, but your summers, make you happier, make you less irritable, and hopefully help you enjoy those things. I'm not here as an endorsement. I don't know if they work or not. I'm merely giving you the information that the company says they have solved this problem. And it's a new way for you to maybe live your life powder-free. And wouldn't that be nice, Big J? Because it gets all over your shirt sometimes.
Yeah, it'd be real nice. Real nice, like.
Morning After with Nic and Big J. There's your chafing update. We got ourselves some important stuff on the way on the X Rocks. Children, Big J, we love them.
Yeah.
But it probably should not come as a surprise that, listen, man, they can be time sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Take care of them and watch them and stuff.
According to parents, especially once they get into their teen years, basically the average parent spends around 38 minutes a day driving kids to and from different activities. Across a 180-day school year, that totals about 7,000 minutes, nearly a 15 8-hour workdays, Big J, that you spent being a damn taxi cab for the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you have to have multiple kids, and hopefully that they're far enough apart where the oldest can then take some of that pressure off.
Your turn. You drive them.
Yeah.
Survey found 77% of parents say back-to-school season makes life more hectic. Rising school supply costs stress 55% of parents, while 71% reporting spending way more than last year. Balancing personal and children's schedules can cause a lot of household friction as well. At dinner time, 90% struggle to come up with new meal ideas, and 66% feel just straight up overextended between all the stuff they have to do at work, all the running around they have to do for the family, all of that stuff. And so it becomes an issue, man. Timing and balancing out schedules and all that stuff is incredibly stressful. And at the beginning of every school year, there's a whole new kind of world that you have to figure out, unlock, and see how you can make work with your schedule and the kids' schedule and their extracurriculars and all that kind of stuff. It ain't easy, but congratulations to you guys for doing it.
Parenthood.
Yeah. You forget sometimes where you're like, yeah, they're little teeny tiny babies is pretty awesome, man. Hanging around, having a good time, and then you're like, God, I got to take this kid to soccer and baseball. And
I mean, hopefully there's just one. There's not a bunch of them.
I don't know. It depends on the family, Big J. You know that as well as I do.
Yes, I know. I feel for some of my friends.
Big J, head coach Kellen Moore is not having a great second-year training camp so far for the New Orleans Saints.
Man?
Well, first things first, earlier this week, their stud defensive tackle Brian Brees apparently tore his ACL on Wednesday. That's going to make sure he is done for the year. And then yesterday, now granted, I wouldn't call a superstar, but a big part of what made New Orleans Saints football is Taysom Hill, Big J. He released a statement saying he doesn't know where he's going to play next season, but as sure as hell ain't going to be with the New Orleans Saints.
It kind of sounds like maybe he doesn't dig on Kellen Moore so much.
Well, I mean, he wasn't naming names or anything, but obviously Kellen wasn't using him as much outside of a tight end when he could. There were some injury problems last year as well. But he obviously made a lot of money playing in New Orleans and doesn't like the way things are going or doesn't like his contract negotiations, one of the two. But he did thank Saints fans for his 9 seasons in New Orleans. He's going to figure out what comes next, but he's not going to be playing in a Saints uniform anymore, he says. So we'll see where that goes. But, God, we're just getting started, Big J, down in New Orleans. What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean...
maybe he's trying to weed out some of the people who maybe don't need to be around so much.
All right, we'll see. We will see. Taysom Hill's certainly a fan favorite.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that also they haven't been winning lately, and he's been around.
No,
so
true.
Last year, I mean, everybody thought the Saints would just suck ass, and they did for a while, but they made a pretty good comeback and turned things around near the end of the year.
Yeah,
so there's some hope.
We'll see how the kid does at quarterback in his second year. That's a little bit different. Some people kind of really like what the Saints did in the draft. Others aren't so sure. So we'll see how it all shakes out, Big J. But we got football on the horizon. It's going to be tough. Brees was 24 years old, first-round draft pick a couple years ago, had a great year last year, and was expecting some big things. And it just kind of sucks when it's like your first day of camp and then your season's over. You know?
And the worst injury.
Yeah, torn ACLs aren't fun. Big J, The Daily Show is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year, and Comedy Central is releasing a podcast called 30 Bleeping Years. The Daily Show remembers. It's going to be a 3-episode feature featuring a bunch of former correspondents and current ones. Jordan Klepper, Desi Liddick, and former guest of the morning after, and our friend Josh Johnson, Big J.
Wow.
Going to be popping on, sharing some iconic moments from the show's history and having some fun. So if you are a fan and you enjoy the comedy of Josh Johnson or anybody else on that show, you can check out a new podcast. Have you heard of these podcasts, Big J?
No, I haven't.
Well, they're like radio, but like on demand. You can listen to them anytime you want to. I think we might have 1 or 2 podcasts ourselves.
Oh, I've heard of that podcast.
Oh, okay. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We have Pop Culture Smackdown. Big J is here. It returns in its natural form. It's next on the X Rocks.
Here's traffic.
Pop Culture Smackdown. Right. On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
And tonight, there is a show happening at the Outlaw Field at Botanical Gardens, if you dare to go. Slightly Stupid, the Road Trip and Summer Tour is happening tonight. We will line you up with a pair of tickets if you can beat me in Pop Culture Smackdown.
Can you do it? Big J spent all day sick yesterday. Probably just studying pop culture.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if you can knock them out today, you will go to the show tonight, grab these last pair of tickets that we have to Slightly Stupid, and have yourselves a good time out at Outlaw Field, a beautiful place to see a show. And air quality is not as bad as it has been last couple of days. Not going to lie to you and tell you it's amazing, but tolerable maybe, you know?
Yeah, well, and they're handing out complimentary masks.
Yeah, they're making sure you're as good as you possibly can be. So if you want to check it out tonight, 208-287-1003 and see if you can knock down Big J in the process. Hello, the X.
Hi.
Hi, who's this?
Steve.
All right, Steve, you're up first. Steve, we had some problems with Jean-Claude Van Damme a couple of days ago, but how about this one?
Jean-Claude.
What former NBA player and rebounding genius once co-starred alongside Jean-Claude Van Damme in a major Hollywood action movie?
Dennis Rodman.
Right.
That is correct. Double trouble, Big J. Big J, what film has the iconic quote, "What we have here is a failure to communicate," as featured in the Guns N' Roses song Civil War?
Let's see. You want the quote that's from that?
I need the movie that quote and that clip is from. What we've got here
I'm going to go Dr. Strangelove.
is a failure to communicate. No, I'm sorry. That's incorrect. Steve, that means you are the victor. Do you happen to know the answer?
I do not.
What if I told you the movie stars one Paul Newman, Big J, and former Idaho resident George Kennedy?
Oh, let's see. Let's go with, I don't know.
We're
Butch
looking for,
Cassidy and Sundance Kid?
I mean, Paul Newman's in that, yeah. But we're looking for Cool Hand Luke.
Cool Hand Luke.
Cool Hand Luke. Would you have figured it out if I told you he stuffed a bunch of hard-boiled eggs down his throat?
No.
Okay.
No, that would
You've
have
never seen
helped.
Cool Hand Luke?
It's been a really long time. I'm not sure that would have been the scene that recalled the movie for me.
I figured that movie would be right up your alley. Morning After with Nick and Big
maybe
J.
1978.
It's a great movie, still to this day. There's a look at your pop culture smackdown. Special guest, our friend Craig Gass in the studio next to the X-Rocks.
Here's
Incubus Drive on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. And it's happened for the first time in, it's got to be almost 2 years. Big J and Craig Gass in the same room together. Oh, my God.
People question whether or not
Keep me
we were
away from him.
the same person.
Nobody
But now
has
we are
ever
both
said that.
in the same room together. Now you cannot deny it. I had a flawless Big J impression that I was cranking out yesterday, man.
nailed
missed
it, dude.
Not hard to do.
Absolutely
Dude,
nailed it.
I was cranking it. Now, keep in mind, it did sound more like several cast members of Love on the Spectrum that I was doing.
But it was on point.
It was on point. I covered all the different emotions of Big J. I intentionally wore this hat to say hello to Big J. today.
I would. That's not an impression at all that I would ever be a part of.
Yeah, I know that Jay's a huge 49ers fan. I'm a big Seahawks fan, so I got my Seahawks world champion, Super Bowl champion hat on today.
Yeah, rubbing it in their stadium. You won it.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah, never-
stadium.
And now it's our team, so
Yep.
we're buying your team. We can't beat it.
Oh, that's
beat it.
right. The owner of the
Yeah.
49ers. But
So,
that's right.
Give me your hat.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
That is diabolical. I have an update. So I'm doing a big show at the Egyptian Theater
Hell yeah.
on October 10th. Big comedy show. And yesterday I talked about how tickets are selling, and I can't understand for the life of me why nobody bought any seats in the front row yet.
Okay.
So we talked about it.
Yeah.
Talked for a while yesterday.
Yes, we sure did.
And late yesterday afternoon, I checked to see the ticket sales, and we sold more tickets
All right.
in the second row. Nobody
hell?
is buying tickets in the front
What
row.
the hell?
Cowards.
Total cowards. I'm not going to make fun of you. Jay and Nick can tell you I don't make fun of people in the front row. You'll have a great time.
It's true.
I won't crop dust anybody. I just, and I'm going to say this just for this morning, if you get seats in the front row this morning, just to satisfy the fact that I just want to have people get those seats in the front row. People are buying tickets in the 4th row, 10th row, front of the balcony. They're not getting in the front row. If you buy the seats in the front row this morning, I will do your outgoing voicemail as any celebrity you want.
Whoa.
Al
Okay.
Pacino, Christopher Walken, whatever.
Big J, of course.
Hey, this is Tracy Morgan, and Bob's not home right now. Leave a message, or I'm going to put a baby in your butt. That's crazy.
That would be the best.
Whatever. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Lars Ulrich. I will do your outgoing voicemail as a celebrity if you just call in and say, hey, got seats in the front row. I'd like my voicemail done by Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Sam Kinison.
And we can do this on the air, right? We can send it to them and we can record it for them and give it to them how they want it.
Yeah.
It's really easy to package this through.
Yeah,
But you
I'll-
got to do it this morning. Is that
Yeah.
the deal?
Look, now, it has to be this morning. Now,
Okay.
now, obviously, by the time I come back in October, the seats will all be gone. I just
course.
want someone to buy those front row seats now. So get your seats in the front row for the comedy show on October 10th at the Egyptian Theater. EgyptianTheater.net, is that it?
That's it.
EgyptianTheater.net. And then call in and say you got the front row seats, and I'll do your outgoing voicemail as any celebrity you want that I can do. And even if I can't do it, I'll pretend to do it.
There you go.
Is
See?
there one you can't do? I don't believe that's true.
Well, I'm a comedian who does voices on Family Guy and American Dad and the Howard Stern Show. I can do celebrity impressions. I'm just saying that if you'd like to have your voicemail done by any celebrity, I'll do it for you. Just get those seats in the front row.
We got
And you
to make
a
this
bonus.
happen. We got to make it happen.
And don't
Crying
call
out.
in and say, hey, I got second row seats and I don't want your voicemail.
That's just rubbing it in at this point.
I do want to say congratulations on your team winning the Super Bowl.
It was incredible.
We do have, and within that, we do have a couple of Boise State Broncos who get a ring. DeMarcus Lawrence, George Halani.
Oh, wow.
So that's where I find my, at least some sort of like thing where I don't cry complete tears
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah, I can't even believe the season they had. It's so crazy. I'm ready for football to get started again. When you're a Seattle Mariners fan, this time of year really sucks. Like the Mariners,
even if it starts out good, it's going to end badly.
Yeah, the Mariners are like having someone in your life who's just a helpless crackhead, and your friends are like, dude, why do you even hang out with him anymore? And you're like, you don't know him like I do. and then they start to get better for a little bit, and you're like, see, they got it, man. They're turning their whole life around, man. They're getting better, and then get to August and they start hitting the pipe again. You're like, oh, come on, you were right there. You were right there.
Yeah, it's been a rough year, man, for Mariners fans. I'm sorry, but you did have a good run for a while there. Cal Raleigh is crazy good. It's just he's struggling a little bit, and that becomes difficult to keep that going for a while. It's a long season, man. It's part of the problem.
Yeah, it was a bummer. Thankfully, I have stand-up comedy. I can just get back into comedy and hang out with my friends.
That's what it's about. And
you guys are very comedy friendly.
Thanks, man.
You know what we love about having stand-up comics come in, and we get that on a regular basis, is we want to find about them as a person. You know what I mean? and because it's that Bob and Tom effect where everybody comedian that comes in thinks that they have to do their bit.
Right.
Or they have to, do a piece of that. And it's like, that's the last thing we know they're going to get that at the show. We want to find out about, the comedians and about their process and why they wanted to do it, because it's such a weird thing to do.
Do you ever have comedians come in and they're so antisocial that it's awkward?
A little bit. I mean, it's rare because we try to break the ice a little bit and let them know that it's not like a high pressure kind of a thing. But there are times where they're so, I guess, maybe used when they come into radio that people don't know who they are or haven't done the work, or it's like the worst part about the gig that they are expected to do half of their, kind of set as they kind of come in.
Right.
That when it's not that, we kind of throw them off their game a little bit, but not to the point where anybody walks out and goes, that's not at all what I was expecting. What a bunch of garbage. So that's the good news. But it is certainly, everybody's different, and some people get into comedy because of that case. And so, but we try to break that ice fairly early to let them know that it's not that kind of show, if you will.
When I first started doing stand-up, I remember thinking like, oh man, I think I can do this for a living. And I'm going to be surrounded by the happiest people in the world. Oh my God. I cannot believe how many unhappy people, even like Norm Macdonald had this incredible story about Rodney Dangerfield that it made me laugh, but the core of the story was so sad that Norm Macdonald was doing Weekend Update at the time, and they had Rodney come in to do a hit on Weekend Update, and he was going to be promoting a movie. And Rodney didn't know that on Saturday night, they actually do two shows at Saturday Night Live. They do an 8 p.m. show that is 2.5 hours long, and then they decide what hour to cut for the live show that goes out nationwide at 11:30. And Rodney was like, I can just come back. Why do you want me at 8? Like, I'll just come back later. And he was really pissed about having to do both shows and be there all night. And Norm was like, well, it's just, this is the way it works, man. It's it's not you. It's just they're trying to figure out. They might even give you more jokes. And he said Rodney sat down in his green room and said, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's all crap. It's all crap, Norm. Movies, TV, it's all crap. Comedy. That's what we got. Comedy. We'll always have comedy. And then there was a long pause, and he goes, comedy's crap too. And he got up and walked out of the room. And it's like, Jesus. It blows me away that Rodney was so miserable. So miserable.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talk about how there definitely has to be a little bit of backstory, a little bit of something going on, why you want to do this.
Yeah.
And then when you get into a room with a bunch of comedians, it's just like you're all sharing stories of dark, depressing things that have happened over the course of it. And it's the way that you kind of cope and heal and deal with some of that dark bleep that's going on,
I don't feel like a real comedian.
Why?
Because I like people. I genuinely like people. I like hanging out with people. And a lot of comedians are just not like that. But I mean, then the other side of it is the genius that comes from being detached from the human race with people like, Dave Attell or even Rodney. I mean, Norm had another story about Rodney about being at the Improv before Norm was famous. He had this incredible story about working at the Improv in Hollywood when Rodney Dangerfield showed up from his wedding. He just got married. And he showed up with a tux with his bride. And the MC goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest in the house tonight. Straight from his wedding, please welcome Rodney Dangerfield." And the player's like, "Whoa!" And he gets up on stage and goes, "Hey, I just got married. There's my bride." And everybody, "Oh!" And then she's in the wedding gown. Everybody's like, "Oh!" Everybody's applauding. And Norm said, as people were starting to sit down, Rodney goes, "Yeah, she's no prize." and he starts just pounding her, and she's still standing in her wedding dress going, "What are you doing?" Like, he's just,
Yeah, it's a special breed for sure. But you're one of the special ones, Craig.
I think that's why comedians and radio people get along so well.
Absolutely.
Because you have to have a nut loose up here to do radio.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, you're involved in entertainment, but there's some skepticism. There's a healthy amount of skepticism, and
plus we don't know who's listening.
You're talking to yourself in a room all day. That's what this is.
As much as we love everybody who is listening, we know that you're there. It's just we don't know either at the same time, and so you got to be a nutcase.
Does it ever surprise you and make you feel like, oh, why did I say that? When someone on the street says to you like, "Oh man, that was so great when you said blah blah blah," and you're like, "Did I say that on the air?"
Yes, there's a lot of that. You don't remember what you say, or are you sure that was me, or whatever. There's all that kind of stuff.
Or when you end up having a catchphrase.
Or like horse crap. Big
I
J.
was stuck with a catchphrase for quite some time.
And the catchphrase was
horse crap.
Horse crap.
Because I can't say the real word
Okay.
on the radio. And I started out doing that quite a bit, and I would yell it. And then like they would encourage me to do it. Like the morning show would encourage me to do it. The next thing you know, everybody, when I would see them in public, would want me to yell horse crap.
No.
It happened on a blind date.
No.
Yes.
Your date asked you to do it?
Yes.
Wow.
That's really hot.
That's when I'm like, I need to stop doing this. I need to drop this whole thing.
Wow.
Well, the good news is you don't have any catchphrases, do you, Craig? You don't have any like phrases that you put on T-shirts, do you?
He does impressions. That's the
I know that's pretty cool, but like, there's not like I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I
Like
do have a
comedian
catchphrase, and this is going to sound really weird, but my latest catchphrase is, "I'm Big J, and I'm going to have sex with your mom." Which you got to understand within context.
I love it.
Yeah, within context, it's kind of a popular thing, but
Yeah, you can't help it. It looks good on a T-shirt.
and
so,
people keep asking me, "Can you yell it?" And I'm like,
I'm Big J, and I'm going to have sex with your mom.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's just I can't even remember where it started. I just know my friends keep asking me to just keep doing it. Like, "Can you just do it again? Do it again?" Like now Darcy's asking me to do it.
The kids love it, man.
I'm Big J. I'm going to have sex with your mama.
Sounds like another celebrity, though.
Who do you think it sounds like? I hear Big J all over.
I hear Big J too.
All
I know
right,
what he's
okay,
talking.
I'll
I
take
was
that.
doing a Big J yesterday that I was so proud of. It sounded exactly like Dylan from Love on the Spectrum.
Spot on.
Oh.
Spot on.
Yes, I'm Big J. Yes. Per se.
The per
Yes,
se.
per
is great.
se.
Per se.
I love the Minions. Yes, per se.
Craig Cass is in studio. He is at the Egyptian Theater on October 10th. That's a Saturday. We're looking to sell some front row tickets this morning. Get on it and get your voicemail from the man himself. We're going to spend a lot more time with Craig. We got to give you a keyword for summer of fun. That's next on the X Rocks.
I'm Big J.
Here's traffic inside the TDS Fiber Traffic Center on 100.3 The X.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Going to wrap up our Thursday morning drive with slow pockets both directions along Eagle between Chinden and the freeway. An early morning stall eastbound I-84 off on the left shoulder at Lester Lane between the Caldwell Airport and Highway 55. Cleared out the multi-vehicle crash eastbound I-84 before 10 Mile Road. We have some congestion between Eagle and the Flying Y, and that earlier disabled vehicle eastbound on the freeway before Orchard at the west end of the Boise Airport. No slowing either direction on the connector. That's your latest traffic. I'm Danny Christos.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education.
That is Eye of the Storm on the morning after with Nic and Big J and Craig Gass in studio at the Egyptian Theater on Saturday, October 10th. EgyptianTheater.net. Grab those first row tickets and tickets in general at EgyptianTheater.net right now. Of course, we're coming out of Five Finger Death Punch, Craig. You have a close relationship with the bass player. Of course, you guys have a podcast together. It is called The Beardo and the Weirdo. That's been going on for a while. Aren't you on? I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong button.
Idiot.
What a moron.
Chris and I are life partners.
Yes, and you guys have been doing it for a while. Talk about how that came about. Why did you start to do the podcast? How did it become a thing?
He was always bringing up, we should do a podcast. and we'd always go to concerts and comedy shows all the time, especially the comedy shows. Chris would text me once a month and say, hey, do you know Bert Kreischer? And I'm like, of course. And he's like, can you get me into the show and tell him I want to come see him? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Do you know Tony Hinchcliffe? Yeah, I know Tony. Do you know Bill Burr? Like, yeah, I know. Like, can you text him? And every comedian that I would send him to see, I would say, hey, buddy, it's Craig Gass. A buddy of mine wants to come see you. Is it okay to send him? He's from the band Five Finger Death Punch. He looks really scary, but he's a sweetheart. That was the same text I would send everybody. And Chris is obsessed with stand-up comedy. So I've been getting him more and more into the comedy world. And then he started doing open mics.
Yeah.
And really doing the open mics. Like there's 10 people in the room, and every one of them is somebody who's waiting to get on stage. And you're just going to eat it because nobody's going to try to support you in that environment. And with all the shows we'd get to, I would actually get us backstage at shows that he couldn't get into. And he said, we should do a podcast, man. And you know everybody, so you could book the shows. And so
do all the work.
Yeah. And so we started, and I couldn't believe how many rock stars not only would reply like, yeah, dude, absolutely. They would reply immediately. Like I'd be like, hey, I'm doing this show now with Chris Kale from Five Finger Death Punch. Is it okay to join us in a couple of days? And the bubbles would start right away. And I'd go, no way. And the answer was, yeah, dude, absolutely. When do you want to do it? And I mean, to the point that even there was that one time that we were going to have Brian Slagle, who runs Metal Blade Records, to come do our show. And the backstory was that Brian went to an AC/DC concert the night before in Vegas and was hanging out with a buddy at the concert. And the buddy said, what are you doing tomorrow? And Brian said, I'm hanging out with Craig Gass tomorrow. Craig has a new podcast. I'm going to go hang out with him and do his podcast.
Nice.
And the guy that he said that to said, I want to hang out with Craig. Can I hang out with Craig? And he goes, oh, I'm sure Craig would love to see you. And the next day, the door opened and Kerry King from Slayer walked in the door. And I go, dude, what are you doing here? And he goes, I'm your surprise. Nobody. Is anybody here? And I go, no. What are you doing here? And he's like, I wanted to surprise you, man. And I go, are you doing the show? And he goes, yeah. And I go, all right, we'll see. And then it became the most uncomfortable hour with Kerry King, where I told sweet stories about how nice he is to me, and he didn't like it, you know. So it turned into this really fun episode. And by the way, Chris Kale the whole time staring at Kerry King. And have you had moments, either of you, where you feel like you're carrying the entire conversation and you look to your partner like, so do you want to jump in on this? And they're so into the person they don't even say anything. Have you had moments like that?
No.
Yeah. You say yes, he says no.
Yeah, I'll give you an example.
Please.
All right. So years ago, and we were just talking a little bit about this, but we're out at Rock on the Range. We're doing interviews. So you got to go to, they're wherever they're at. Usually they're not going to come like when it's a headliner, one of the big bands, right?
Sure.
And so we were going to be interviewing Ghost,
nice.
Tobias Forge. And so we're in this like tiny trailer that they have set up. Of course, it's really hot there. It's very humid and everything. And we're stuck there with our equipment, and we're very in tight quarters. And we're sitting there and we're having a conversation and interviewing them. And Tobias is just staring at me the whole time. And I'm like, okay, man. He's like locked into what I'm saying. This is great. We're having I feel like it's a great interview.
Yeah.
It is a great interview.
Yeah. And then what?
Then we get out of the trailer where Tobias is, and I let Big J know that he has a huge booger hanging out of his nose, and Tobias was locked in on that boog the whole time. He gets mad at me because I didn't tell him, but it happened during the interview, and I didn't want that on tape because it was such a good interview.
Huge ass booger, dude.
It's a big old bug. Oh, man. It was just like hanging and dangling and flopping around.
So mad. I'm like, I could have gotten rid of that thing. And it was like, he's just staring at me like I'm a big fat slob with a booger in my nose.
And I was looking at him like, he is locked in on that booger, man. He is not leaving eye contact.
This happened at Rock on the Range?
Yes.
So for all the years since then, anytime somebody says to you, you ever been to Rock on the Range? You immediately go to the booger?
No.
We've been there too many times.
Yeah.
That's one of the many stories. But, you brought up Kerry King. You have a Kerry King story, too.
Oh, dude. So years ago, I think it was Mayhem Fest, Slayer playing here, and we had interviews set up. And so I was going to interview Kerry King, and I'm not the biggest Slayer fan, so I know a little bit, but I do know one person who's a huge Kerry King fan.
Okay.
He's our midday guy, Jason Drew. Huge Raiders fan. Obviously, he's a huge Raiders fan. Kerry's a huge. I asked him, I'm like, hey, do you know anything about Kerry King that would be helpful in this interview?
Oh, no.
And he tells me something, and he's like, hey, ask this guy. He knows him really well. And the guy says, Kerry loves to golf. Nobody knows about this. And I'm like, he lives on a golf course. I'm like, oh, great. So I'm taking this little nugget. I'm like, yeah, man, this is going to be great.
I'm going to get some original content.
We start the interview, Craig, inside the arena in the middle of it, and it's really loud there, and we have to stop.
Okay.
And we have to move. We have to do that twice.
Oh, no.
So finally, the third time, I'm now in the middle of Slayer's dressing room.
Nice.
No, it's already in a comfortable place to do an interview because you're in their area and it's just nerve-wracking as somebody, And so I start out on a shaky ground anyways, having to recoup all of this stuff that we'd already talked about.
Yeah.
And I bring up the golf thing. I go, Kerry, I hear you're a huge golf fan. Huh? He hates golf. He does live in a golf course, and he hates it. He hates it, man. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I was just like, that's what I get for not doing my own research.
I see Big J come out of the interview, and he's just shaking his head. And I'm like, well, he goes, it was a disaster. He doesn't like golf. He hates it. I was unprepared, and I was like, I was laughing because that's funny to me.
Yeah, everybody thought it was funny.
He was very uncomfortable,
but
it's clear he didn't take it right.
Could have been worse. He could have been a dick about it and be like, what made you think I let go?
He's really nice.
He's really nice.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
I ran into Dave Attell on the streets of New York. It was like, I don't know, 2 years ago. And while we were talking, somebody who's just walking by us just stopped and went, oh my God, dude. And he's looking at Dave and he goes, can I get a picture with you? And he goes, yeah, sure. And I go, give me the camera. I'll take the picture. And I go to set up to take the picture. And the guy puts his arm around Dave Attell and he goes, man, I loved you on Comedy Central. What was that show that you did? And he goes, I have no idea. And he goes, the one where you stayed up all night? Doesn't ring a bell. And he kept he refused. He just messed with the guy's head. He just effed with him the whole time, refusing. So you got Kerry King just saying I never got into golf. And he's just letting it go. He's letting it go. And but I totally get the idea of oh man, when I hand the ball to Kerry, he's going to take it and run with it. Maybe it'll get covered in national press.
Right.
It'll be, I'm the guy who's got some inside info. Oh, that is such a letdown.
This is we have plenty of stories like that, Craig, I tell you what. But
for those of you that's joining the broadcast, this is Nic and Booger J. Nic and Booger J in the mornings here in Boise.
If you want to check out Craig Gass October 10th at the Egyptian Theater, egyptiantheater.net, grab those tickets while you can. We're still going to hang out with Craig a little bit. We got some bad impressions. They're going to come up next on the X Rocks.
Yeah.
We'll see them in a couple weeks. That is Shinedown Young again. Gave away some tickets to them over the course of the show today. Big J said thanks, but no thanks to Mortal Kombat 2. He got disapproved from him and does not recommend that on HBO Max.
Fatality.
But we've been hanging out with our friend Craig Gass, who is at the Egyptian Theater October 10th. You can grab your tickets at egyptiantheater.net. Craig, you've been our guest the last couple of days. Always appreciate seeing you, man. Thank you for carving out time. We know mornings suck. But we appreciate you coming in and hanging out.
Dude, and I got to see Big J.
Hell yeah.
He wasn't here last time I was here either.
The last 2 times, I think he missed.
Well, yeah. Let's see. I was on vacation.
Oh, that's
the
right.
last time you came in.
You're on vacation.
Which was a couple weeks ago. Or about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, and then
it was Dave Buckner's 50th birthday is what it was.
Yes, that's exactly right. And and then obviously you missed yesterday, and I think the time before that for some reason paths were crossed. I can't remember, but you've been in here a couple of times. But you always make time for us, and I want to say thank you because you don't have to, but it's always good to hang out.
I love hanging out. I'm just realizing. So Jay doesn't even know the story that I told about how when we put the show together for the Egyptian October 10th, it's kind of an apology show because after my last show at the Egyptian, Darcy and I broke up.
I heard, yeah.
Because of things that were said on that stage that night at the Egyptian. Yeah. So we ended up breaking up, and then...
So you're like, it's a good idea to do this again.
So, we ended up doing couples therapy. Darcy, by the way, my girlfriend, is from here. She owns Chalice Tattoo Studios here, and she's an incredibly talented and beautiful...
One of the best.
Tattoo artist, yeah. And... met her when you guys were doing human trafficking a few years ago.
I hate when you say that.
Still doing it, man.
They had a prize closet here, and in the prize closet, I could see, they're like, get anything you want. And I saw some CDs and DVDs, and I'm like, well, I don't have any room for CDs or DVDs. And there were movie passes. And in the corner, I saw a group of just women.
No.
And I go, what is
Craig,
that? And I go,
no.
oh, what about the one with the tattoos? And you guys were like, take whatever you want. And I'm like, oh my God.
Thank God that's not the thing that broke them up, because he can still do that.
Yeah, I can still do
I had
that.
to have a conversation with somebody yesterday that believed that story was true.
Really?
No, you did
I'm
not.
like, no, we don't human traffic. That's not something we do.
Greatest radio station ever. I mean, for those of you who have won like movie passes, to know that I won a girl. I actually
Not
won.
true.
I got a girlfriend out of it.
You
Darcy
gave away
has
tickets to Shinedown.
Yeah, I mean,
And
dude.
not quite a girl.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it's
have to bring your own girl to the Shinedown show.
yeah, and it was so we ended up breaking up, got into couples therapy. Then I started going to therapy on my own. So the show on October 10th is an apology show from the last show.
I was telling Craig, because I was there and you were doing a lot of material, and I was like, hey, this is really. We were having fun, we were laughing, but I was like, Darcy must be cool with all of this because there's a lot of Darcy stuff, and I was like, oh, you're having fun.
It got very personal, and so when you come out to the show on October 10th, it's going to be way more personal on October 10th. So get your tickets.
Front row tickets still available.
Yeah, and well, and I've been saying, I'm doing a Tommy Lee thing now. That's my new impression, my new Tommy Lee. I also do a great John Bon Jovi. We're halfway there. Living on a prayer.
That's brutal.
So tickets are still available in the front row. People are buying tickets in the second, third, 10th, front row of the balcony. If you buy tickets in the front row and hit up either Nick or Big J and say, hey, I got front row seats, tell Craig I want Craig to do my voicemail, I will do your outgoing voicemail as Adam Sandler or Christopher Walken or Al Pacino. And here's a big one. As Big J's Arnold Schwarzenegger. What? I will do your outgoing
Man,
voicemail.
Branding.
What an honor. What
So
an honor.
just got to show proof of purchase that you got the front row seats. It just bothers me personally. I know when I get back here in October, a lot of seats are going to be gone.
Yeah.
I just want to see the front row disappear right now. That's all. Just the front row. You have front row seats. You can get a date, get seats in the front row. They are yours. I will not make fun of you.
It might help you get a date. Be like, I have
True.
am row seats to Craig Gass.
To a great comedy show.
Yeah, maybe you don't get it.
Dude, the show's going to be so much fun. A lot of new material I'm really excited about. Am I excited about this new material? It's been really fun. I've been very, very creative in the last year or so. Darcy's been hanging out with me at the comedy clubs in New York. And because she's in the room, I keep exploring further and further away from the material that I've been doing so I can just entertain her.
Nice.
And it's turned into a lot of new material. So
Hell yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for sharing some of it here
yeah,
today.
we appreciate it, man.
absolutely,
Grab
man.
your tickets at EgyptianTheater.net, getgas with 2 S's.com, xrock.com. There's links all there. Take care of business. Show us your proof of purchase. We'll send it on to Craig and get you what you need to make sure everybody is happy. But again, thank you for coming in, brother. Always
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
And everybody listening right now in your cars or at home, oh my God, you won't believe who just walked in the studio. And Nick, you and I just need to close our eyes while we hear the gentle sounds of Arnold Schwarzenegger walking right into the studio. Arnold, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh my God, it's so good to see you.
I don't know if that's what you wanted me to do.
That was amazing.
I'm good.
Yeah. We got dueling Arnolds on the show. That's wonderful.
I'm good.
Don't forget, we got Arnold Braunschweiger listening as well.
It's true. We have listeners that call up and do impressions. So
Do they
got
really?
All sorts.
All inspired by you.
Yeah,
Oh,
it really
I
is.
love
It
it.
really is.
I
You've
love
inspired
it.
a generation, Craig.
Well, when I come back in October, let's do an impression off with the listeners when I come
love
back.
it. I love it. So grab your tickets, EgyptianTheater.net, getgas with 2 S's.com. Craig, thank you again, brother.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
brother. I'll see you soon.
Morning after with Nick and Big J. Jason Drew's up next. It's Yes.
Hey, it's Big J here for